Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for February 7th, 2021. We've got a lot of new things going on. We've got updates on old projects, and of course, we've got add-on kits. We've got a little bit of going on with Legends, not much, and a little bit of going on with Mainline. We're going to talk about all this coming up. First off, I like talking about stuff I find at Show Z because I don't see it at other places. And here we are with this 3-0, and I might be saying it wrong, Ideon? This thing is the legendary Giant God, and it is just ridiculously massive. It's a giant 18.11 inches, and it's made of ABS and die cast. And it is just huge, fully articulated. 125 points of articulation, a die-cast interior frame, light-up LED features at the eyes and sword emission holes, detailed paint treatments, and action stand. And it requires batteries. It says 10 batteries. And the price is $1,000 bills. $1,050 with 30 down. This thing is massive, but I guess it's going to be impressive. All you Beast Wars lovers out there, there's going to be Beast Wars Megatron Toys Mage KO, and it's coming back in stock. It's coming in stock. Probably won't make it before the new year. You got to wait and order it. Get it shipped out after the Chinese New Year, which is starting here in a few days. But I have this. I like this. It's not perfect. It's good for $105. And it's better than spending $300 on the Takara and get a cracked waist. My waist is not cracked. So they reinforced that part and all of that. But I'm happy with mine. And it's on my shelf. And it looks good. All honesty, the Takara looks a little better. And I found this to be interesting. This is sort of like maybe kind of an Exo Squad kind of a deal here. But this is the Forging Soul 160th AGS-11 Iron Fist team. And it's 1/60th scale. I was like, well, how big is that? Is it going to be 10 inches? Is it going to be 20 inches? Is it going to be 8 inches? So I don't know. I don't even know a price. But I thought it looked kind of cool. It includes a Human X figure. A big old gun to go with a mech figure. If you're into these mech kind of things, this might be up your alley. First off, I want to talk about the Masterpiece realm here. We have this Toy World Constructor. This is the clear version, but as you can see, this has the Kane Toys arms on it. Now, it kind of blew my mind when I saw this picture, so I had to go after it. How is this going on? They're using similar type of engineering with the Kane Toys as the Toy World, and we all know it originated with Toy World, possibly the Zeta team. But looking at this, it's copying some engineering. Why not? By the way, if you're in the same company making the same thing, why not continue with what works? And there's proof. Now, here's one of those figures, and again, we've looked at this before, but this is a real picture in the real world, in-hand photo. I think it looks really good. The way it just set up kind of reminds me of Swoop a bit. I mean, I know it's not going for Swoop, but in my mind, I like Swoop, so I like it. Here's the bird mode of it, and it's really good. It's got a premium paint to it, and I really hope this set turns out really well. That Clear Devastator got me looking into what's going on with the Clear Superion, and the Clear Superion is coming in stock, meaning, again, probably gonna have to wait till after Chinese New Year to actually get it shipped to you. But it looks pretty good. You know, here's another thing I've been thinking about. Like, how is Zeta able to maintain that price point of sub $400 for a set? And they just keep cranking them out. And they do a lot of stuff with it. All the price increases for all the other companies in Zeta still is staying in that zone. The first one came out was $375. Now they're charging $399. That is not a bad price considering what this is. And all the other companies have gone up 50, 70 per figure, and this is 5 figures. One question that always comes to mind when I think of clear stuff is why clear? And I think with the right lighting setup, you could actually have a really good looking setup with clear figures. Again, if you're into the clear, I would like to get some feedback on why clear. It sells, or else they wouldn't make it. So who is this target market? What do you do with it? We see a lot more pictures of Purple Potato. I do have this on the way to review myself. I look forward to it. I'm going to try to incorporate this into my HasLab Unicron display. And I will have this and have this before HasLab Unicron. We're going to talk about that in a minute, actually. But I think it looks good, and it looks good in both modes. I don't think the bot mode 100% nails the character, but it grabs the spirit. I think that's what's really important there. I think that having it in this Nemesis, I think that we call it the Nemesis mode here, and I think it scales really well to go next to the HasLab Unicron. Oh, it's way too big, obviously, but it looks good, and I like it. I like big things, I like shiny things, and I think this is going to be great. And they do show it kind of next to the Little Zeta one, so next to Little Zeta, you can kind of get an idea what it's going to look like next to HasLab. By the way, Zeta is a good figure. Clarify, 01 Studio. Sell. We've seen a ton of pictures this week of Fans Hobbies Naval Commander. Obviously, it's either starting to ship, or it has shipped, or something along those lines. It looks pretty interesting. I do kind of like this packaging. I almost never see packaging like this in the Masterpiece line. And Fans Hobbies is a little smaller than Masterpiece, some people say. I don't really have any Fans Hobby stuff, but I think this looks really good. Here it is in bot mode. A lot of people had questions about that little car. Yes, it comes with a car that attaches all over the place. All these pictures show it attaching in multiple different areas, and that's what you get right there. I actually have this figure somehow, some way. I have it from the vintage line, the original version of the figure. So it's kind of interesting to see a Masterpiece-esque scale of it. Here it is, pulling out all the big guns and all the ammo, and quite impressive, I have to say. I do have a lot of friends that are excited about this, so it's kind of fun to talk about it. And here we go with the Matrix Chamber and the Prime, just without all the big old armor and stuff. Looks pretty cool. Now, I'm trying not to turn my Sunday news into the X-Transbots update. And I almost joked about it last week. I edited it out. But the thing is that we're going to see this Virtus pretty soon. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to look good. It actually is showing on ShowZ as incoming, meaning they're getting it shipped to them within a certain time frame. I am curious because we keep seeing pictures from X-Transbots of updated Pantones and colors, and they look good. I think that they're going in the right direction. They're doing what they should do with this figure. I hope that it's the best, because I got my money on it. Literally, got my money on it, that it's going to be the best Springer out there. If it's not, I still have a Fans Toys, and there's other options, but I still hope it is. So, part 2 of my X-Transbots update this week. I have got a ton of pictures of Cup. I'm probably not going to be able to show them all, but there's a ton of pictures of Cup out there showing what's going on with their lock figure. And look at this. From this angle, from this stance, from this pose, he looks absolutely phenomenal. Just phenomenal. In this comparison shot, he looks like hot garbage. I kind of think that the abdomen area is the biggest problem with this figure. And I also know for a fact the abdomen is not properly transformed right there, because I see a lot of other pictures, and I watched a review, I watched a transformation of this. It is a bit complex, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to it 100%, but there's a lot to like about this figure. Actually, a lot to like about both of these figures, but I'll do a breakdown in my own video. A couple of things about this figure that separate it from the Fans Toys. His cigar smoking face, it's all one mold. It's molded in there. You can actually change out the top of his head too, which is, I think, is a detriment myself, but it's something that they allow you to do. Also, his abs, if transformed properly, look good. There's a swivel in there. You can have an upper torso swivel. I don't think it's very impactful. I don't think it's going to create very many new poses, but it is there. So there's a lot to this figure. Maybe it's a little over-engineered, and X-Transbots is doing that. Fans Toys has been over-engineered for a long time, and X-Transbots wants to catch up to that price point. I really do think X-Transbots versus Fans Toys is going to be a thing going on, but I don't think Fans Toys will tread on a lot of the ground like the Omnibots and going after all the different types of Quintessons and all of them. And we know we have plans for other Quintessons coming up. If you don't know it, they already have prototypes that they've shown, so it's pretty exciting what's going to happen with this company. So I support them and I hope they do well. So we got a bunch of pictures of Fans Hobbies MB14 Master Force Headmaster Junior Cab Hose Head. This is a gray prototype. It looks good. I'm glad they're going after more Headmasters, but I do have kind of a side note I'm about to get into. So looking at the Headmaster itself and the head, I personally thought this was a terrible gimmick back in the 80s when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, this is sorry, I don't like it, I think it's terrible. As an adult collecting them, I actually showed a bit of appreciation for this. Maybe the appreciation was the awe of how much money one of the Headmaster heads can go for on eBay and how much I would have to spend, or how many hours it would take for me to find one for a reasonable price. So I'm starting to think, what's the engineering behind this? How can they improve on the G1? How can they improve on what Hasbro did with Titan Returns? The Headmaster gimmick itself is sort of interesting. Maybe it's not the greatest, but can they improve the engineering and make it more functional and make it even better? Getting away from my side note here, here's what he looks like with a couple of extra friends here. So this is next to the MB12 Athena, which is Minerva, and the MB13 Ace Hitter, which is Ghost Shooter. And they're going after figures nobody else is making. Let me tell you that I like the fact they're doing that. Now, I haven't really jumped on board with this. I might regret the fact I'm not jumping on board with it right now. They do look good. They do look great. I've heard a couple of complaints about them, but overall, they look good, and I like the fact somebody's doing Headmaster Juniors in here. And here's the alt modes, and I like how you can open up the cabs and put the heads in there like the original toy did, like it should. I mean, really, this gimmick has to exist if you have Headmasters. If you make a Headmaster figure, incorporate this into your design, and good job. So we've got pictures of the Transart BWMO4 Black Agent Ravage. I am a huge fan of Ravage. It's in my probably top 5, top 6 characters, and he's not even a character, he's an accessory. But when it comes to Beast Wars, he's a true character, and he goes back in time or whatever and does his thing. I think it looks good. I think it's good, not great, but I'm glad they're making it. I'm glad they're making this figure, and of course it's right next to the Transmetal Cheetor that's recently been released. It's already shipping. People already have reviews up for it, so that's great. Now you can kind of see the alt mode. How can these companies keep making this vac metalized stuff, and other companies like Super 7 and Hasbro and these other, they can't vac metalize or even electroplate things? Like, what's going on here? There's some sort of a giant conspiracy why I can't get vac metalized or electroplated stuff in the main line anymore. That kind of sucks. I know the cost, yes, but we kind of pay for it there. This Ravage is only going to be $60, and it's like $90 for this Transmetal Cheetor. Here he is with another picture of just him looking interesting. I think he looks good. A lot of shininess to him. I kind of like that. I mean, Beast Wars itself wasn't very shiny. This character did have a kind of shine in the animation or the CGI. Here we go with him in his alt mode. And I really don't think his alt mode's a transformation. I think it's more of just a bending over. he just fold him into this, and there it is. There won't even be a maximize or anything, so there it goes. So we got some pictures of this Tri-Ace Toys TT01, and this Prime is massive. It is big. I'm sure it's expensive. It should be releasing soon too. And here he is in a really good photo. I think this thing is going to have a lot of shine, a lot of metal, a lot of beef to him, and he's going to be pretty big, almost 13 inches tall. Wait, he's only $150, but it's non-transformable. So, don't the non-transformable ones that are this big usually go for 400. But anyway, 150 bucks. I think some places like the US distributors sell them for 220. But anyway, I think this guy looks really good. Here he is from the back view, and what really got me was from the back, you can plug the weapon in, but the shine, the sheen, and the back area just really looks great. That looks like he's got a jetpack, he's ready to take off and do some stuff, but I really was impressed with the shine and the level of detail going on his back there. Here we are with a really dynamic pose. Of course, with all of the articulation that this figure has, he can do quite a bit. And here he is with kind of the pop-up arm communicator piece where, you know, hey, Ratchet, we need you over here to fix Bumblebee again. Or something like that, you know? And here's another real close-up shot of him. And I think it looks really premium paint. I mean, kind of up there with some Flames toys. What do you think? Sliding into some Legends news here, we've got this Megatron Magic Squares, the MSB36X and Doomsday Megatron metallic version. Got this on the way to me. I'm looking forward to getting it. I think the first one was great. I just like a metallic paint job on my figures. The Prime was great. I expect this to be great. But I do want to get into a topic that it seems like not much new is getting released right now for our good Legends figures. We've seen the first set of 2 figures coming from Magic Square for their Menasor Combiner, which looks great. It's going to be a good set. But I'm not getting it because Motormaster's 130 bucks. These 2 figures here, 50 for the pair, 25 each. That's what I expect with a Legends scale. The Motormaster being 130 put me completely out. I thought the whole set should be about 150, so here I am kind of like, it's going to be great. It's going to be an excellent combiner. I have no doubts. These figures are going to be awesome. But price-wise, it priced me out. With the lack of actual real Legends news, this caught my eye. This is a custom Devastator 3D printed based off of what seems to be modified G1 mold and using a kind of a crazy Devi assembly for the waist and stuff. So it's really upgraded. It looks amazing. It looks really good. I'm not into 3D printing yet. I would love to get into 3D printing one day, but I was told if you're not spending like 600 bucks on equipment, then you're going to run into a lot of problems down the road. Because I have actually some friends that do it, but I can't ask them, will you print 800 parts for me, please? No. But anyway, this looks great. I would love to see this in person. I'd like to get a little bit more information about it for you guys. So getting into some mainline news, technically the HasLab Unicron is the War for Cybertron mainline news. Now I got emailed an update, like update 5 or 6, whatever, and I think it's the last update, obviously, and they're showing a lot of stuff about production. They're showing how they produce it. I am absolutely fascinated by this. This is outstanding that they're sending this our way. Here is the paint process. Basically, they have different molds formed around the actual parts, and they just spray the paints on. And that is so cool. That's so awesome. I mean, I make my own reproduction parts myself, and so I kind of wonder about the production process as I'm manufacturing my own personal parts. This is so intriguing to me. I love to see it. Here we go with a bunch of faces on there, and part of the manufacturing process. I think the insight into the manufacturing process that goes along with this whole thing is absolutely amazing. I love to see it. They also show like they're tampographying onto some clear plastic, a little bit of green, like the accents and stuff. So that is awesome itself. Here's a bunch of the lower waist, the lower half, lower parts of the body. I think that looks outstanding, how they're doing all this stuff. I always get excited about the production shots like this. They produce it in bot form, and I think they do this with every Transformer. Whether or they're going to put it out in the bot form or they're going to put it out in the alt mode form, they produce it in bot form. I've long speculated that the process is do it in bot mode, convert it to alt mode if you're going to ship it in alt mode. Which, again, could you imagine making 13,000 of these and then transforming 13,000 of these? In fact, you got to be a ridiculous master expert at transforming this Unicron at the end of the day. Look how big this guy is. Now, here he is getting kind of nestled in there. It's kind of interesting also that they're leaving one side of the spikes on. They take the other side of the spikes off, but this side of the spike stays on as it's getting loaded in. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I got 2 of these coming in, so I'm going to be doing a review soon. And that's a big box, and I'm going to have 2 of these big boxes. Of course, this box is nothing compared to a HasLab Sail Barge, but again, it's pretty massive. Now, if you are still saying, why is this thing worth $600? You know, is it relatively worth $600? I don't know. But look at this dude standing behind it. He shows this is what a $600 Unicron looks like in planet mode. So getting into more of the mainline news here, we've got the Generation Selects Deep Cover official announcements of pre-orders right now at Hasbro Pulse, TF Source, BBTS, all the Chosen Prime, and all these places going on right now. I want to point out that there were a massive amount of people saying this was a custom job and a fake. And I was thinking, why? Who would go through the trouble to custom paint this and make it a fake? Because guess what? The reason everyone thought it was a fake was because it was so well painted. But it does look good. I think it looks great. I really don't know anything about the figure, but I guess it doesn't matter. It looks cool. Here he is in his alt mode, and I'm a sucker for a Lamborghini. Even if it's a stylized Lamborghini, I still think it looks pretty good. So, if you missed out on the Rainmakers last year, was it last year or was it even a year before that? But if you missed out on them as the Target exclusive, then we're getting reissues everywhere. TF Source and all the places I mentioned before. BBTS, Chosen Prime, Ages 3 and Up, Entertainment Earth, Dorkside Toys. For anywhere between $85 and $99 at some places. But whatever, it's better than $300, I guess. This thing is interesting because it's 3 figures, and it originally was only $80 at Target. And I got mine for $60 because they had that little discount days or whatever. I had a deal on it. I got mine for $60. I still have never opened them yet because I thought they'd reissue them, and I thought they'd reissue them with extra paint apps. But the paint apps are just the typical Space Mud, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But hey, look at the silver lining. If you missed out, get in on it now. We've got some in-hand images of the APC Toys Prime RC. This is a KO. This is a KO that I believe is massively improved from the original. Here is a picture of said original next to the improved version. And yes, it has a very nice paint job. I've got this coming to me for a review. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm not a huge Prime fan, but I did some digging around, and I actually have a Transformers Prime collection I didn't really remember I had, but I don't have her. So she's missing. She's a big gaping hole, so I'm looking forward to getting her in. I do believe she's very well painted. I do not think that's actually just like a metal fleck plastic. But even if it was a metal fleck plastic, it's done well enough that it shows really well in pictures. Here's the alt mode, and I do remember having a couple of these in this alt mode from different versions. I believe they were different versions. Maybe they weren't the same mold, but this motorcycle is awesome. You know, the Ninja Pocket Rocket kind of motorcycle there, and it looks great. With mainline so quiet this week, it looks like an upgrade kit from Go Better. We've seen upgrade kits before for Sunstreaker, and it looks good. The thing I want to talk about this upgrade kit, and every upgrade kit, is it should be able to handle the transformation. You should be able to upgrade your figure and utilize this same figure in the transformation. You should be able to use the upgrade kit in both modes. It should affect both modes, hopefully, and that makes it worthwhile as a worthwhile upgrade kit. I do think that some upgrade kits are coming out, especially the one for RC, takes away the transformation gimmick in a way, but it kind of adds, you can build the whole car separately with that one. With this one here, it upgrades both forms and it tucks away all the parts very well. I think that's how an upgrade kit should work. So I'm kind of impressed how they did all this, and I might have to pick it up. But I also want to point out, this figure suffers from last wave syndrome. You might have trouble finding it. Before I get into the Star Wars stuff, I want to talk about something Marvel. I never talk about Marvel. The Sentinel a little bit because it was HasLab. But how many red hand ninjas does it take to build a Stiltman? Well, it seems like that's a similar type of question as how many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, and unlimited number of hand ninjas to build your Stiltman. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Gonna have to hear some haters on Reddit, right? So, Star Wars news is extremely light this week. They had a Fan First Friday a while back, so last week was a ton of news. Then there's nothing. I gotta tell you, as the biggest franchise in the entire world ever, they're struggling even to survive. Surprises me. I even made a video about this and I deleted it. I didn't want to put it up. It was too negative. I want to be positive. You can get this Incinerator Trooper right now at Walmart as of the time I'm filming. Hope they don't sell out. But they're $12.99 at Walmart.com, and you can get this thing if you're looking for it, if it's something you want. This is news. Yes, it is news. GameStop has clearanced out the $40 or $49.99, or is it $39.99, 3-pack of these figures. Now, these figures, some of them, one of them, the one on the right, was going for $80 prior to the reissue. And they all were going for $50 to $80, and now they were clearanced out. So it makes them like $6 each at GameStop for these figures, because you're going to buy them in a set of 3 for about $18.99. So 6 and some change plus tax. Pretty good deal. Really good figures, and the card backs just absolutely look amazing. And a lot of people thought they'd never reissue these. Keeping in line with the GameStop sales, the $90 X-Wing went on sale for $18.99. And I was a little disappointed because none in my immediate area within 100 miles had one in stock. Online was out, so I'll do without. I'll just settle with my original version. I mean, I've got the original Vintage Collection one, but it'd been nice to have this one also, but I guess I missed that boat. So it turns out that we've seen the card backs of the Walmart 50th Anniversary Vintage Collection figures, and one of the problems is that they are going to be numbered, even though this ridiculously fuzzy photo I found does not show them the numbers exactly. They are going to be numbered. I mean, how far is Vintage Collection going to go? Do you want it to go to 300? Do you want it to go to 500? Do you want it to go to 1,000? That'd be an interesting question. So the big Black Series reveal this week is the Fallen Order Cal Kestis Fallen Order figure in the Deluxe Series. It's going to be $30 at GameStop. Now, I like the first version, the $20 version, better than this one. The orange throws me off. But if you played the game all the way through, you might like this more. My son played the game all the way through. I hear it takes only like 4 or 5 hours to beat the game. Much different than 10,000 hours of online gaming that goes on with most other games. But anyway, I think it looks okay. It's got a lot of extras, a lot of pack-ins. And if you played the game and you have an experience, this helps you, I guess, continue that experience. but it is available at GameStop for $30. Let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. I'm going to make a video talking about the Thunder Tank and my thoughts on that. If you're interested in this, or if you don't even care, you might want to watch it, because I have a lot of thoughts on this. I still have some questions that are out there. What did you think about this weekly news and review? What else is going on out in the world that I missed? I'd like to know. Like and subscribe. Tydirium Hanger out.